Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a little different from what I normally do on my channel, but I've been seeing a lot of girls do story time, so I figured I would just do a story time video, if you will, because it just gives me an opportunity to kind of switch it up and take a break from, beauty videos and reviews and whatnot. So I decided to tell you guys a story about, well, that's related to my wedding, and I don't know if most of you guys know, but I'm getting married in a few months, so this video is about how I told one of my bridesmaids that she couldn't be in my wedding. So anyways, let's just jump right into the video. Before I jump to the story, I would just give you a little bit of background about my wedding, and I might even actually do a whole video on my wedding, just, about all the details of it and whatnot. But I got engaged a year ago, last April. And so and this is no offense to any girl who is into having big, expensive weddings, but in my opinion, I just think it's such a waste of money. And I feel like I blame Facebook and like the show Say Yes to the Dress for that. It's one day, it's a very important day, but it's not the last day of your life. And, regardless of if you're paying for it or if your parents are paying for it, I just think it's a waste of money in my opinion. But again, it's just your preference. It's whatever you like. So I just didn't want to have a big over the top wedding, and everybody tells me this, like, you're not having a big wedding, and I'm just like, no. And they're like shocked because they think I'd have this big elaborate glamorous wedding, but I'm just like, no. So I decided, I love cruises, and I think most of you guys know that. I go on cruises at least twice a year. I just absolutely love them. So I was like, you know what? I just want to get married on a cruise. So I'm getting married on a cruise in July, and it's going to be out of New York City. We're getting married right in New York City, and then we take off. So I live in upstate New York, so for any of my family or friends that did want to come, it's not like it's mandatory for them to come, but for any of them who did want to come, it's convenient. They can just, right out of New York City, and they can go on the cruise. So I'm getting married on the cruise, and then a couple weeks later, I'm going to have a wedding party. So it's great because it doesn't have to be as formal as like an actual wedding reception. So I'm getting married on a cruise, and, that was my plan. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to have a big wedding. I'm not going to have like a million girls in my wedding. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just have my closest friends and my sister. So my sister, obviously, she is my maid of honor, and then I chose two girls that I went to high school that were my really good friends. So one of the girls, for the sake of the video, we're just gonna call her Samantha. I have known her for, I want to say, maybe 15 years, and I don't hang out with her a lot, but we've stayed in touch ever since we graduated high school, and she's been one of my really good friends. So naturally, I asked her to be in the wedding, and she said yes. So I was very excited about that. And so, a couple weeks, well, I want to say maybe like a month after that, I'm not really sure. I was looking around online, and I wasn't even actually like really looking for bridesmaids dresses. This was in August. I don't know if I just mentioned that, but it was in August of 2015. So I was just looking around online, and I was on Kohl's website because I just love Kohl's, and I shop there all the time online. And I was looking at their dresses, and they had these beautiful, I guess they consider them gowns or maxi dresses or whatever. But I found this beautiful dress or gown, and I'm just like, oh my God, this could be the bridesmaid's dress for my bridesmaids, because I also did not want them to spend $150, $250, $300 on a bridesmaid's dress that they're going to wear one day. Because I know most girls on bridesmaids dresses, they spend like anywhere from $200 to $300. And actually I just did, because I'm in my best friend's wedding in 2 months from now. But beside the fact, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to be considerate, and if I can find a good deal, I did. So I found this beautiful dress, and if I can insert a picture here, I will. And it was like $30. I'm just like, oh my God, I gotta get on this. I know it's like a year away, but I gotta tell them so they can get it. So I wrote my sister, and then I wrote my two friends. I sent them the link, and I showed them the dress, and I said, pick this up. This is a beautiful dress, and it's so affordable for you guys. Pick it up before it gets sold out, because things on Kohl's website typically go fast. So my one friend Samantha, she's like, okay, I'll get it, whatever. So a week goes by, and I think I wrote her or whatever, and she hadn't gotten it yet. And I'm just like, okay. And that was a little irritating to me. I mean, I know everybody's busy and they got stuff going on, but you know, I did ask you to be my wedding and I sent you the link to purchase it yourself because I don't really think it's my responsibility to purchase your dress. So a week goes by, she still hadn't gotten it, and I was like, all right, I'm getting a little irritated here. And I asked her again, she's like, oh, you know, I'm just so busy, you know, I'll do it. I think she was like moving into, you know, her house or whatever. So, you know, I was just like, okay, whatever. I brushed it off my shoulder. I was like, okay. So she said she was going to get it. And then like a couple days go by and my mom calls me and she's like, I ran into Samantha at Walmart and she, I asked her if she had gotten her dress, and I think my mom actually might have mentioned that she bought another one. And so Samantha goes to my mom, oh, do you think that I could actually buy an extra dress off you? And when my mom told me this, I'm just like, you gotta be effing kidding me. She still hasn't bought in the dress yet. It's like, how much of the ball can I put into your court? So that irritated me right off the bat, and this is August, okay? So this is still going on in August. So I noticed that the sizes, and my friend Samantha was an extra small in the sizes. I noticed that they were selling out quickly. Well, what do you know? The extra small sells out. Oh well. So I write her and, you know, I don't know. She just wasn't buying it. So you know what? I was like, I just bought the dress. I bought a small because extra small was sold out. And, you know, if the small sells out, she's SOL because I don't know how medium or a large for that matter is going to fit her. So it was kind of annoying that I had to do that again because I just didn't think that it was my responsibility, even though it's my wedding, it kind of is, but that irritated me. So I bought the dress, whatever, I had it. So the next step was getting the dress to her. I thought maybe I let her know, you know, I picked it up or whatever, and she's like, okay, you know, I'll have to pay you, whatever, thanks. So like a month goes by, I don't hear from her, so I make a couple attempts, and this is going into like late September, October. I wrote her, you know, 1 or 2 times saying, hey, you know, I'm going to be by your area. Do you want me to drop that dress off? And I figured we could hang out or whatever. And, you know, she either just like didn't respond to me or just like, you know, she just didn't give me an answer. So I made a couple attempts in the fall to get the dress to her, which again, I already purchased a dress for her, so I didn't think it was my responsibility to actually get the dress to her as well. I thought maybe she would like, you know, text me, get a hold of me, and she'd come pick it up or we could hang out and she'd get it from me. So I made a couple of attempts in the fall to get the dress to her, and that was irritating to me, but I'm like, you know what, just whatever. So after those couple of attempts, I didn't hear anything from her, and now it's December, late November, December. And I was just like, you know, I'm just going to wait till she reaches out to me. This is getting ridiculous. And I think I reached out to her and tried to make plans with her, and she just never got back to me. And that's just how it always is. She would just never get back to me, or she'd say she was going to, and she didn't. And, you know, it was really irritating me because I asked you to be at my wedding. You're considered one of my really good friends. What's going on here? Why is this so difficult for you? But again, I just, you know, I was like, all right, calm down, don't get mad about it. So January comes along, and it's a new year, 2016. So I said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to her again. And I actually talked to my other friend that's in my wedding, and she agreed with me that it was getting ridiculous. But she said, you know what? Just be kind, reach out to her, whatever. So I did, and I was just like very excited about it. And I said, hey, you know, I still have your dress, and we have to get together, and we have to catch up, whatever. So in January, we were supposed to get together one weekend, and the day we were supposed to get together, she didn't feel good. She felt sick. So she's like, you know, I'm really sorry. I just really don't feel good, whatever. And I was like, okay, you know, no problem, whatever. And she's like, well, what are you doing Sunday? Because it was a Saturday. She goes, well, what are you doing Sunday? And I was just like, nothing. And she's like, well, I'm heading up to your area, so, you know, maybe I'll stop by and we can get together and I can pick up the dress. And I go, okay, just get a hold of me, let me know, whatever, that's fine. That's perfectly fine with me. Do you think I heard from her Sunday? No. And do you think I heard from her after that for the next couple weeks? No. And so it's just an ongoing cycle. If you guys are noticing here, it's an ongoing cycle of me trying to reach out to her to get her frickin' dress to her. Like, this isn't right. Like, this is my wedding, and it should be, and I'm not trying to sound like selfish or mean or anything, but you know, it should be kind of like a privilege or just an honor that I even asked you to be in the wedding. I already bought the dress for you, made it that simple for you. So that was January, and I was ticked off again, and I thought maybe even like she'd reach out to me and say, oh, you know, hey, like we didn't get together, well, you know, let's try again for another weekend. But it's just no, you know, I just didn't hear from her. And so, you know, my mom was like, you know, she needs to just not like this. My mom knows her, and she's just like, this is unacceptable, you know, her behavior, this is unacceptable. And it was really bothering me, her lack of communication or even effort that she was showing to be in my wedding, because my other friend got the dress right when she was supposed to, and I've been talking to her all along. I mean, we're both actually, I'm going to be at her wedding in the next couple months, but my friend Samantha, just never hear from her, and it's always me, you know, reaching out to her, trying to get a hold of her, trying to get the dress to her. So after January, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to make any more attempts. We'll see if she reaches out to me and gets a hold of me again. So that was January. February comes along, and I'm about to go get my hair done. And what I will mention is that my sister is my hairdresser, and she also does Samantha's hair as well. And in the previous months, my sister would always say, oh, have you talked to Samantha? Oh, have you talked to Samantha? Because she comes in and obviously gets her hair done. And I'd be like, no. And I'd always say, no, you know, I tried reaching out to her or whatever. And my sister would always say the same thing to her. Oh, have you talked to Ashley? Oh, have you talked to Ashley? So February comes, I go to get my hair done right before I'm going away for spring vacation. And my sister says the same thing to me. She always says to me, have you talked to Samantha? And I told her, I go, you know what? Last month I made yet again another attempt to hang out with her, catch up with her, you know, and get the dress to her. And she blew me off, never heard from her. So my sister says to me, why is she in the wedding? Why are you even having her in the wedding? And you know, I feel like she even said that to me before, but I just was like, you know, and I was just trying to be nice about it. And she said it to me that time, and it all just clicked to me. Why? Why am I having her in the wedding? You know? August to February, like, I've made multiple attempts to you, and you just act like you just don't even care to be in my wedding. I bought the dress for you, and I've tried to get the dress for you, which, again, it's not my responsibility, and it's really upsetting to me because I've known this girl for 15 years. So the icing on the cake is that my sister was like, oh, well, you know, she came in to get her hair done a few weeks ago, and I said to her again, have you talked to Ashley? And she's just like, no, I haven't. And the icing on the cake is that she texts my sister here and there to go to the gym or to go to yoga or random texts, but she's supposed to be my friend. So that's just not okay. And I'm just fed up. I've had it. So I made the decision right then and there. It was the day before I was going away, but I was like, you know what? You know, my sister's name, her name's Danielle. I go, Danielle, you know what? You're right. I'm not having her in my wedding. Why would I want, you know, and I was nice about it long enough. I really was. I really was. And I probably should have asked her months ago not to. So I was like, you know what? I'm going on vacation tomorrow. So when I come back, if I still haven't heard from her, I'm going to send her a message just saying, you know, look. So I go away on vacation, and I was thinking about it. And I was even like thinking about it because I was just like, and I just was like, no, there's no way that she's right in this situation. So I get back from vacation, and it's March, okay? March. Still nothing. Haven't heard from her at all. So from August to March, this has been going on. Now we're approaching my wedding in July. So, you know, this is ridiculous. So I think about what I'm going to say. I tell my friend that's in my wedding. I tell my mother. My mother completely agrees with me. So I send her a message, and if I had the message, I would read it to you, but my phone kind of crapped the bed 2 weeks ago, so I don't have the message to read to you. But basically, in a nutshell, it just said, you know, I just think it's best at this time you not be in my wedding. I've made multiple attempts to get the dress to you and to hang out with you, and, you know, every time, you know, you've blown me off or whatever, and quite frankly, it's not my responsibility to get your dress to you when I asked you to be in the wedding. Something along those lines I said. And I said, you know, I just think it, and then I said, plus two, you know, I know you've got a lot going on, and this will just be one less thing that you have to worry about. And, you know, I'm not trying to cause a fight or anything like that. I just think it's best at this time. And I think I also said something along the lines that, you know, I'm just really disappointed with the lack of effort and communication you've shown since August about being in my wedding, and you know, I just think it's best at this time, whatever, that you not be in my wedding. It was just a simple message. I got the point across. I said that I wasn't trying to cause a fight. So then I'm like, you know what? Let's see if she says anything. And I was really nervous to send it because, again, I don't like confrontation. I don't like, you know, drama. I just don't like anything to do with that. Hence the fact why I don't have that many girlfriends. But so I send the message and I'm like, you know what? If she writes me back, maybe saying, apologizing, and makes some kind of effort over the next couple months to even hang out with me or whatever, then I'll consider inviting her to my wedding party, which is the month after. Do you think I heard anything from her? No. And I was actually shocked, but no, like, that just goes, and like, it just pisses me off. Like, I don't know. I known this girl for 15 years and I don't know, but I will say, even though I was upset about it, I felt so much better after I did that, because I didn't want her in my wedding, like, and it just all clicked when my sister said it to me that final time, which it should have clicked way back then, but it clicked to me, and I felt so much better. I just have my one friend, my best friend in my wedding, and my sister now, and I'm so happy about that. And even though it was hard to send that message to her, I felt so much better after I did. And the point of this story is that, you know, when big occasions are happening in your life, or big things are happening in your life, or just anything in general, but in this case it just happens to be my wedding, which is a very big event in my life, you learn who your real friends are. I didn't think this was going to happen, but you know what? At the same time, I am glad that it did happen, because I realized that I don't want that person in my life anymore. I don't want her in my wedding. I don't want her in my wedding party. I'm just done. You know, I'm not going to make a big stink about it. I'm done. You know, I've moved on, you know, and I've learned, and you've proved what you had to prove to me. I just don't want you in my life anymore. I'm done. You know, I'm not going to cause drama and make a big scene, this, that, whatever. But that's just the lesson of the story. You learn who your friends are. I learned it this way, unfortunately. But you know what? I'm better off. And I think that, you know, you guys would agree with me. You know, and it didn't feel right. Like, going into, like, you know, January, like December, January, February, even though I was still making those attempts, it didn't feel right, like, even making those attempts, because I just, like, why do I want this person in my wedding? You know, and I don't know, it sucks. I've known her for 15 years, but, you know, you find out who your real friends are. So anyways, that is it for this story. Again, I will probably make a video about my wedding, just giving details about my wedding and whatnot, if you guys are interested. If you guys like these kinds of videos, let me know. I've never done a video like this before, but I kind of did like it, because it just, again, it's a break from doing all my beauty videos and hauls and fashion hauls and everything like that. But anyways, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And